Are still joining. All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. We're kind of a small group, and I think we might be a small group today, which is fine because then that means that you can ask more questions and we can have more discussions about research. So this is part two of the Research Ready webinar series. And today we're going to be focusing on how to cold email professors. Part one was on Wednesday at 1 p.m. And that one was more of a general, like, where to find research opportunities. I'll do a little bit of like, if you weren't at Wednesdays, like I'll do a little review because I feel like that's also context to like how to cold email professors. The Wednesday session is also recorded as this one is too, and I'll upload them to our YouTube channel. And I'll also email to, if you're using your UCSD Zoom account today, then I can get your email. If you're a guest, like you're using a non-UCSD Zoom account, then I've noticed your email doesn't populate. So just as a heads up, but it will be on our YouTube channel regardless. Okay, so to start off, my name is Elizabeth Vasquez. My pronouns are she, her, ea. I'm the research and involvement coordinator at the Triton Transfer Hub. And so I'll be hosting today's webinar, and I also hosted Wednesday's webinar. But a little bit about me and my role is I'm a full-time professional staff at the Triton Transfer Hub, and I'm also a liaison to the Undergraduate Research Hub, which is another office on campus that focuses on all things research for all undergrads, not just transfer students. Um, I'm also a resource for you, right? So I primarily work with the transfer student population at UCSD, and my goal is to support transfer students who want to pursue research and other types of involvement during their time at UCSD. Um, and I'm also available for 30-minute appointments virtually or in person at the Triton Transfer Hub. By curiosity, those of you who are attending today, do you mind putting in the chat, or you can also unmute, are you a continuing student or are you a new incoming student? Yeah, and I'll give you a second to put that in the chat just out of more curiosity and so I can gauge where everybody's at. Um, okay. New incoming student, new incoming, okay, new incoming, okay, sounds good. And for those of you who are just joining, I'm just asking if attendees are continuing transfer students or continuing students, or are you like new and incoming, and fall quarter is going to be your first fall quarter at UCSD? Okay, so far it sounds like three of you are incoming students. I'm gonna assume that we have like a little mix between new incoming and continuing transfer students. So I asked this because in relation to excuse me, in relation to appointments, um, if you are a new incoming transfer student, two things actually. If you're a new incoming transfer student, I start meeting with new transfer students starting fall quarter. And the reason that is because if you're a new incoming transfer student, I wonder how many of you did the STEP program over the summer transfer enrichment program that the Transfer Hub hosted. I did do a research and involvement series. So I did do like a 5-part webinar series that went over the basics of like how research works at UCSD, how to find research opportunities specifically for our new incoming transfer students. And I think it's important to go through those webinars and learn like the basics about research so that once the time comes in fall quarter and we're able to talk one-on-one in an appointment, you at least have like a general idea of like the opportunities, and then we can talk more specifically to like how to get you there, right? Like goals and stuff. So my webinar series, I completed it already. We did it already. Those are recorded, and since we're a small group, I'll do a little I'll show you all how to get there, which is transferstudents.ucsd.edu, which is our website. You go to STEP, recaps page, and the ones that start with R&I, research and involvement, those are the ones that I recommend you look through. So I can put that in the chat really quick. Okay. Okay, cool. So, so in relation to that, if you're a new incoming transfer student, you can start to book an appointment with me in fall quarter. If you are a continuing transfer student or you're like a senior student, like or a student going into your senior year, we can start to talk now because you've been at UCSD for at least a year by now. And yeah, we can set up some goals, but I'm glad that you're here regardless. Yeah. And I did want to give a heads up. I do have like an activity later on in this presentation that requires some engagement. So that's going to come up. So yeah. Okay. So research at UCSD. If you were at Wednesday's webinar, this looks familiar. But I kind of wanted to give some context to um, cold emailing professors. And that is because you should know that there's like different reasons why you might want to cold email professors or get in contact with professors. And so you can find research in different places on campus, different offices, departments, and such. But the way that's easier for me to I guess oftentimes when I meet with students, the big question is like, where is there like one place where like all research opportunities are available? And it's kind of hard, right, to find one place where it's like an exhaustive list of all research opportunities. So the way that I like to kind of explain it is like these four areas. So there's the Real Portal, the Undergraduate Research Hub, networking and contracting, which is what we're going to mostly focus on today. And then your major department or honors program um, may also have research opportunities for you. So that might also already be embedded into your curriculum. I also wanted to add, I didn't say this earlier, but there is a Q&A feature if you have like questions in mind and you want to just submit them. I'm sure that we'll have time, at least 10 or 15 minutes at the end so that I can answer them. So you can submit questions if you would like. Okay, so the Real Portal, which is the Research Experience and Applied Learning Portal, um, the URL is real.ucsd.edu. If you go now, you'll see that it's actually currently under maintenance over the summer, and it's scheduled or at least expected to open once fall quarter starts. Um, and what you will find, which is subject to change, but it's kind of like Handshake, where you will find research and experiential learning opportunities, internships, service learning, leadership positions, and all that. You can find that under the Real Portal. Again, this is subject to change because it is being merged with UCDC and the academic internship program. So it could be that it's going to be a bigger portal. And so things might look different. If you do have questions right now, you can reach out to the managers of the Real Portal, who are the experiential learning specialists, and I put their email down here, which is elt@ucsd.edu. So before it went under maintenance, this is what the Real Portal looked like. You'll see that the logo at the top. On the left-hand side, there was filters where you can, put if it's like an on-campus or off-campus position, academic standing, the department, type of compensation, which could be paid, volunteer hours, or academic credit hours and stuff. And then here is where like the postings would be. So you would expand this and then read more about, for example, let's go to this third one, research intern, skeletal muscle function and exercise. And so you would like expand that and learn more about this position, like an overview. You would also see like how to apply. Sometimes they would put like resume, transcript needed, or just transcript or whatever it may be. So again, and the look of this is subject to change, but just know that it might be similar in that, you'll have postings. Okay, Second place, Undergraduate Research Hub. So the Undergraduate Research Hub is another office on campus, Student Center B, and this is a picture of like their entrance. Some services that they have are research programs, research conferences. They also give research advice as myself because they do have staff as well that you can also meet with and they can support you. And they also have travel funding for students who have completed a research program. So the research programs I would say are like probably the main thing that students use when it comes to the undergraduate research hub. And so we can check them out now. So their website is ugresearch.ucsc.edu. If you go to programs, let's go to all URH programs. And then it'll give you a list of programs. They have different eligibility requirements, different application processes, and different structure. And so it depends on like what you are interested in, what your major is, what your area is, and maybe what time of the year you would like to do research. So I really recommend looking through them. For example, California Lewis Stokes Alliance for Minority Participation is for science, engineering, and mathematics. Faculty mentor program is open to all majors and it is not competitive, although the structure of it is that you do have to acquire your own faculty mentor, and you do get academic credit as the compensation if you do the faculty mentor program. So let's say you're interested in this one and you're like, oh, I'd like to do it. It would be for winter and spring quarter as it's not being offered this upcoming fall quarter. Um, which is good in a way if you know FMP is your interest because then you're here now and you're learning how to cold email and you can also cold email professors to serve as your faculty mentor for this program. Which if you're some of you are new incoming transfer students, you might have to cold email professors, right? Because you don't have established relationships yet, and that's okay. McNair program is a trio, like a federal trio program funded by the US Department of Education, and it is geared towards students who are interested in pursuing a doctoral degree in the future. Um, let's see, Regent Scholar Research Initiatives, Start Astro and Start Neuro. Each of these already they are research programs for transfer students, but their recruitment happens even before, you get accepted to UCSD. So these programs unfortunately don't accept more, but they're still here on this list. The TROS program is the Triton Research and Experiential Learning Scholars Program, and it's similar to the faculty mentor program in that you would have to acquire your own faculty mentor, but you would get compensated with a stipend, a $1,000 stipend during winter and spring. If you do it during summer, it's $5,000. Recently used the Tyler Center Fellowship for International Study also gives you funding in exchange for like doing research. UC Scholars, and then there's also undergraduate research scholarships. So I will say, so CAMP, Faculty Mentor Program, McNair Program, and the Trust Program, all four of those applications are going to open sometime in fall quarter. Unfortunately, those deadlines are not solidified. I wish I had those, but I would, if you are interested in any of those four, you can click on it and learn more about the eligibility and what you need to prepare before applying, which some of those are you do need to acquire a faculty mentor before applying. So just wanted to share that. Okay. And if there's any questions at any point, feel free to stop. We're a small group, so we can stop and chat more about stuff. Okay, so that's a little bit about URH programs. There's also this Airtable also on the URH website, and it's an Airtable not just of undergraduate research hub programs, but other like UCSD research programs. And again, it's not like an exhaustive list, but it's continuing to grow. I will say I don't think that it's updated as regularly. So if you do see something that you're interested in, definitely reach out to their contact info that they have But just know that those deadlines or some of that stuff might be a little outdated. Okay, networking and contacting. So this is a part that we're gonna focus on a little bit more today. But another way to get into research is by just networking, right? Reaching out to professors, whether that's via email, office hours, or class. Um, Departmental websites for faculty is also important, and I'll do a little demo in just a bit. And if you're like, I don't know, it's kind of like intimidating reaching out to professors, you can also reach out to TAs who are teaching assistants and graduate students, right? And sometimes their TAs are grad students. But you can also reach out to them too. Those are also people that you can reach out to if you do want to inquire about research opportunities. Your major and honors programs. So your major might actually offer or even require like a research thesis or some type of like senior project to graduate. So I would highly recommend checking your major department website. Um, it's fairly easy to find your major department website. For example, if you're a psychology major, you can put it's psychology.ucsd.edu and you'll look through, if you look through your major department website, does take some exploring because each website is different. You'll see that there's a psychology honors program and that this is for your senior year at UCSC. So they will have info sessions in the fall. If anybody's in sixth college, you'll likely need to fulfill an experiential learning requirement, and research can be an option to fulfill that requirement. So it could be embedded into your college curriculum, your major curriculum. So it's worth looking through your major department website as they might also have some pointers. So um, if you want to practice, looking for your major department website, you can just open up a Google tab, and I'm gonna put it in psychology, just UCSC and Google that. And usually it's like the first result. And you'll notice that the URL is .ucsd.edu, psychology.ucsd.edu. It's pretty easy to like remember and accessible. So we're gonna click on that, and yeah, you can like kind of explore the different tabs. Each program is different, each department website is different, but what I would recommend is you can go to undergraduate program, and then you can go to research, and um, and then we can learn something new. Like there's a common application for psychology majors that basically matches you with a research lab as you rank them. You do have to apply, and then the application is a Google form, and then you would rank the labs that you would be interested in working in. It's currently closed for the fall quarter, but it will open up again sometime during the fall quarter. I would say earliest week 5, week 6, to be matched in winter quarter. And it's not guaranteed that if you fill out the application that you will be matched. You don't get matched, then you can do it again next quarter. So anyways, if there's any psych folks in the group. Okay, so how to find faculty. So in order to reach out to professors, you kind of need to know how to find them. And so we can do a little demo together too, using a different major department website. And if anybody in the Zoom wants me to do a demo of like their major, feel free to put it in the chat. I can do that, and I'll pick the first major or the first person that puts their major. But for now, I'll do bioengineering, and then we can do another one. So you can find faculty through their office hours, through class. There's also a faculty directory. But the way that I like to do it, that I think is probably the easiest, is through your major department website. So we'll check one together. So first, right, find your major department website. You want to locate the faculty webpage. You want to click on faculty profiles, and then you want to select lab websites. And then not all faculty will have a lab website linked. And then you look for contact info, and that's how you can find faculty and their contact. So let's try bioengineering. And again, each major department website is going to be different. So we're going to go to research and we're going to click on faculty. And then it's going to give us a list of faculty profiles within this department. And I'm going to click on Dr. or Professor Brian Aguado. And it's going to show me their faculty profile. So, and then usually it's, you'll see the name, you'll see the title of the professor, and then you'll also get an overview of like the type of research that this particular professor focuses on. So here we see biomaterials, tissue engineering, precision medicine, sex differences, et cetera, et cetera. So let's say I'm a bioengineering major and I'm like, oh, interesting. I've always wanted to learn about biomaterials and tissue engineering. Um, so on the right-hand side, we have the headshot of the professor. Usually under there is where we'll have the lab website. And so here it is, and we'll click on that. And so it'll usually take you to an external website. And we have the title here. So engineering biomaterials to understand sex differences in health and disease. Gives you a little welcome and just like, their homepage. We also want to explore their team. And we'll see on their team, well, first we'll see like some pictures of team outings, right? So that's nice. So it looks like they went to Knott's Berry Farm. Looks like they have matching t-shirts, went rock climbing. That's kind of nice to see. Um, and then we have the picture of the principal investigator, and you'll hear this term, principal investigator, as short for PI. So you'll hear students, if they're working in a lab or a research project, they'll say like, oh, my PI, they're referring to the principal investigator. And you can kind of think of them as the director of the lab. So here's about the professor. And so I want to look through their team. I see that they have postdoctoral researchers, PhD candidates. I'm gonna keep looking. Staff research associate. Okay, they have MS students. Let's see. Keep looking, keep looking. Undergraduate student. Undergraduate, undergraduate, undergraduate. And the reason I want to see if they have undergraduate students working under them is to see is that, okay, so this lab has accepted or has, had undergraduate students working under the lab. So that's a good sign for me because that means in the future, I may be able to, also be a student researcher in this lab. So that's just like something to look out for. And it's nice to see pictures of the team, doing outings and that's very fun, matching t-shirts and all that, because that also tells me that this could also be a welcoming community or a welcoming environment to be part of. And maybe that's something that's important to you. Moving on to the tabs, you can look through the research. You can look through the publications as well. This is where I would also, spend some time exploring as well. You don't have to read full papers, but familiarize yourself, maybe do like a little bit of skim reading through like publications of Professor Aguado. Okay, and then we want to go to, actually, let's go to undergraduate research because I see that there's a tab for that. So it says, are you interested in undergraduate research in the Aguado Lab? Please click below to apply. And then I'm going to click apply here, and there's a Google form, which is really nice because then, you can fill that out. If I have interests, I can fill that out. And then, yeah. The one thing is, I don't know how updated this is. Like, are they currently hiring? Are they currently looking for one? Or is this outdated? Or should I still do it for the future? Still fill it out, right? And what you can do is you can go back to the faculty profile that we had here. Where's the email? Well, the email's here. You can go back to the email and you fill it out and then send an email to the professor letting them know like, hi, my name is Elizabeth and I'm a bioengineering major and I came across your lab. I just applied by submitting the Google form. I hope to hear from you soon, interested in your research. something along those lines. Right? Okay, so I saw that somebody put neurobiology, so we're gonna try that. We're gonna Google neurobiology.ucsd.edu, and it's right there. Perfect. So under neurobiology, we're gonna go to faculty. And so it's gonna give you a list of faculty in the neurobiology department. Let's see. Let's try Jonathan here. And so you click that faculty profile. It gives you an overview of the research. And under that headshot, it looks like there's a website to a lab. Let's try that. And so same thing, it's going to take you to an external website. Let's see, the theoretical neuroscience lab is headed by Jonathan Al-Jadaf and is part of the UCSD neurobiology department. And then it gives you an overview of like what the lab does. Again, we can look at the team. Principal investigator is the PI, and then we have PhD students. I don't see undergraduate students. That doesn't mean that, you're fully eliminated. We don't know. Maybe this isn't updated, or maybe they are looking for an undergraduate student. But keep looking. You can look through the publications, see the type of work that this PI has been part of. Read about research, lab news and photos, right? Again, see the type of activities that they do as a lab, and then let's go to contact. So there's no information for me if they are looking or hiring or for an undergraduate researcher. That's okay. What we can do is we have the email, and we can just send a cold email to that professor if we find that this topic is interesting and we want to go for it. Okay, let me go back. Let's see. It is 1:30, so I have 30 minutes. So I have this QR code here. I kind of did a couple of demos. So try it yourself now. You can scan the QR code for a list of UCSD degrees and majors. I can also send that in the chat. Oh, this is the wrong one. Oops, I did not update it. Let me find an updated one. For now, you can scan this QR code and then um, try it yourself. Locate the profile of a faculty mentor or a faculty in your major department that you would potentially like to reach out to. And in the meantime, I'm going to look for that UCSD degrees and majors. Oops, try that again. Okay, and hopefully somebody is brave enough to share who they found in their major department website. Or you can also Google your major department website the same way I did. That is also helpful too. Okay, here it is. And let's take about 4 minutes. I'll check in. And if anybody needs help, if you're like, I can't find it for my major, you can put in the chat, like, what's your major? And I can help one person out. Yes, to answer your question, we do get into what to put in a cold email. Mhm. But in order to know how to do a cold email, you gotta find like who to find it to, who to send it to. It's been about 3 minutes. Do we need more time? Does anybody want to share who they found? Okay, yeah. The Bloodgood Lab and run by Dr. Bloodgood on neural circuits. Love it.
Bloodgood is a big transfer fan. They were our guest speaker for Transfer Grad last year.
And Brenda Bloodgood also um, runs Start Neuro or helps run it. So yeah, she gets it when it comes to transfer students. Anybody else had issues or questions on how to find faculty in their major? And feel free to unmute as well. Okay, if folks feel okay and you feel good about it, we can move on. Okay, so now that you have found maybe a faculty pro that you would like to reach out to, it's time to make the connection. So cold emailing isn't the only way. You can also make connections through office hours, right? TAs who are teaching assistants, grad students. Class time is also something that you can do, usually after class, not during. And then cold emailing is also another popular one, specifically for transfer students who are incoming, right? Because um, cold emailing is a good way to reach out to professors, even if you haven't taken classes with them. So a cold email, right? The first time email sent to a recipient without prior contact, and for you all, it would be the first time sending a cold email to a professor, because you probably haven't established those relationships yet, and that's okay. And cold emailing is also something that a lot of students do, not just transfer students. So if it's like a new concept, that's okay. Okay, so now the moment we've all been waiting for, the cold email breakdown, right? Which is the greeting, or cold email breakdown, like what do you even put in an email to a professor, to if you're interested in their research. So we want to start first with the greeting, right? So we want to say something along the lines of, Dear Professor Smith, um, it needs to be professional, can use doctor as well. We don't want to say something as, for example, if we're reaching out to Professor Bloodgood, we don't want to say, hey, Brenda. You probably want to say Professor Bloodgood or Dr. Bloodgood, etc. So we want to keep it professional. First things first. Oh, and I jumped. Here we go. And then intro. Here we go. So then you want to do an introduction. You want to introduce yourself first. Hi, my name is Elizabeth. I'm majoring in X and future aspirations, right? Are you thinking about going to grad school, med school? Do you want to go into a certain industry and you're trying to get more research and knowledge about a topic, right? And think about how your major or like your future aspirations post-graduation connect to the research. And so I put down some examples there. So example one, I hope to pursue a PhD in psychology after graduation and very interested in gaining research experience while at UCSD. Example two, I'm a biology major, hoping to gain clinical research experience to prepare for medical school. So one, introduce yourself. You gotta say, who you are. And then two, mention, like that connection to research. Okay, sentence 3 to 4. Now you want to appeal to the researcher. So why are you interested in their lab or their research? Um, So a couple things that you can go about it, right? You can connect some readings from past coursework that you've taken, whether this with this professor or like if you're transferring from another institution like community college, another four-year university. Mention the lab website, right? That's always good. To mention like, oh, I looked into the Blood Good lab and I see that you do work in X. Maybe a past research project that you've worked on. You can mention that too. Let's see. It's good to also, when we were looking at lab websites, and looking through publications to see the type of work that they've done, it's also nice to kind of be like, oh, I saw that you did a publication titled X, and that in this publication there was discussion about the topic of X. I'm really interested in it because of X. So it's good to show that you've done your homework and that you've looked them up and that it's not a mass email that you're sending to multiple professors, that you took the time to, learn about them. Because sometimes professors really just want to see genuine interest and passion from students. So an example there for what you can put for sentence 3 to 4, which is like the body of your email, is I have looked through your website and saw you led research in brain cognition of children. I'm very interested in this topic since I took a child development course in community college and I learned about social learning in infancy. I would be interested to explore language development in infants research as I learned from your lab website. So something shows, connection to your own interest and your past experience in this topic and connecting it to the current work that's done in the lab or the research, area of this professor that you're reaching out to. Okay, and then sentence 5 to 6. So once you have some like a good body, right, and intro and stuff, and this is, depends on different people, on what you want to get out of the email, right? Um, Sometimes professors, I've heard from students that, like what worked for them was, you know, it's good to talk about their research and be interested in their research, but in the end, you also need to like kind of give them clarity on what it is you want out of this email. And so you can kind of put questions like, is there in the time in the coming weeks that we can meet in person or over Zoom? Do you have office hours that I would be able to attend in the coming weeks? Um, a note on one of those two options is that um, summer session, right now we're in summer session at UCSD. And so a lot of professors, those who aren't teaching at least, are off contract and do not have office hours over the summer. So, and usually, right, those office hours and more professors teach during the regular academic year. And so if we are sending old emails, um, it is best to kind of send cold emails closer to the start of fall quarter, um, just because right now we're in summer. And so it could be that you won't get a response right now if you were to send it today. Um, I've learned from other students that have successfully cold emails to professors that that sweet spot of like when to send it is like a week before week 0. So fall quarter starts September 22nd this year. And so I would say like September 15th is a good time to send those emails. And that's like a couple weeks away. So, but you have time to, make your draft, maybe work on your resume, get your draft looked over, and then so that you feel good about the email that you're about to send. But anyways, that's just some context to those last two. Just know that um, most professors do not have office hours right now until fall quarter starts. And yeah, something to consider. Okay. And then sentence 5 to 6, you kind of want to be specific. Oh, wait, we already said that. You want to end with something professional. Thank you for your time. I look forward to hearing back from you. Sign your full name and your PID as well. Okay, let's say that you wrote out your cold email draft, you had it looked over, once or twice, maybe by a friend, maybe by me, um, or something. You're like, I feel good about it. I'm ready to send it. A second piece to this component is it's a bonus to attach your resume to your cold email. So that's another thing to consider working on from now until the start of fall quarter is your resume. Um, and something that I often come across with transfer students that are cold emailing professors is their resume. And the big question I always get, or like concern I get from transfer students is, I don't have any research experience. Like I didn't do research at my old college. Like, what do I even put out on my resume? Um, or students say, I worked at Starbucks throughout my time at community college, or I worked at Starbucks, right? Or at four-year university, and they're like, what can I put on that? And it's like, that's okay, right? So I'll say that now, and I'll say it again, but it's okay to not have research experience. You don't need research experience to get into research now that you're here at UCSD, for those of you who are new. Same for those of you who are continuing as well. That's okay. What I would recommend is making your relevant coursework the focal point of your resume, if that is the case. And also, if you have worked other jobs that aren't related to research, right? Like working at Starbucks, think about your work experience and the transferable skills that you have from that. So that could also be something that you can put on your resume. Um, yeah, and I put an example there, and sorry, it's small, but this is an example from a past student, and I liked how they formatted their resume in focusing on their relevant coursework, and that's the part that's like circling. So, right, environmental biology lab at Santa Ana College and the semester, and then in the bullet points, answering the questions there, which is description of lab activities. What kind of experiments did you perform? What tools or equipments did you use? Did you work in a group independently? What did you learn? What skills did you gain? So that's something that I would recommend if, if you do resonate with that. I think that that would be something that I recommend when working on your resume for research. Okay, what time is it? 1:46. Something I also wanted to mention was UCSD has this program called Coffee with a Professor, and it allows undergraduate students who are not just interested in research, but if you just, want to learn about careers, career like path from faculty, because maybe you want to be a professor in the future, or maybe even graduate teaching assistants, because you're like, I want to go to graduate school. It doesn't have to be just about research. So this program allows you, it basically gives you like like funds, like a gift card to invite a professor or a teaching assistant to coffee. So that doesn't have to come out of your pocket. So this is a program, it's um, funded by your college. It's available once per quarter during the academic year, so you can't use it right now during the summer. Um, Only during the academic year. You apply by week 5. And this would be through your college. For example, if you're in Revelle, you can reach out to Revelle College, Marshall, you can reach out, et cetera, et cetera. But there is like a little application that you do have to fill out by week 5 if this is something that you're interested in. I would consider, look into it. It's kind of if it aligns to, especially if like you're reaching out the week of September 15th, and then the fall quarter starts September 22nd, and you submit your application for Coffee with the Professor. Could be in like 2 or 3 weeks after you send that email, you might get a response and can offer, coffee to a professor. Okay, so next steps for you all is search for professors to reach out to. I think maybe um, the range that I give is look for maybe 5 potential professors that you would like to cold email. Draft your cold email. If you do need a second pair of eyes, you can reach out to me. You can email it to me. If you're a continuing student, you can book an appointment with me and I can look over it as well. You can also email it to me and let me know like, oh, hey, like I went to your webinar and I drafted my cold email. Do you mind looking over it just so that and I can give suggestions like, oh, I would change this, or don't include that, or it's a little long or a little too short, whatever it is. So, anyways, draft your cold email. And then, yeah, you can meet with me in fall quarter to check in on your progress or to just check in general. So, yeah, I think these are my last steps. And that's my contact info. That's my email. And I put our Transfer Hub Instagram and TikTok. There's some fun stuff on there too. Yeah, that's all I have for today. Um, we have 10, 11 minutes for questions. Yeah, and I'm here to answer any questions. I don't see any in the Q&A or in the chat. So yeah, feel free to ask any questions. But other than that, thanks for being here.
Hi, I had a question.
Yeah.
Hi. So yeah, I know you said that there is like more of a sweet spot for when that you'll like get responses from professors. I like had sent a couple like 2 weeks ago, but I'm like a little worried now that it might just like get fall to like the bottom of their like email list or whatever, and I they won't see it. So is there a way or like a certain type of way that you should like phrase a follow-up just to be like assertive but like I don't know, not annoying.
So you sent emails about 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you get any responses?
No, I did not.
Okay. Yeah. I think what you can do is like closer to start fall quarter, you could just like follow up in that same email that you sent and be like, hi, like just wanted to follow up again now that fall quarter started. I'd be really interested in blank and blank. I guess depending on what the context of your email looked like. So you could follow up I would say during that week, if you don't want to like send new emails again.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna stop sharing. All right.
I would wait until the week after next. September 8th is technically when faculty come back on like paid contract with the university to do that follow-up. So the 8th or 9th might be that sweet spot.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being here and have a good weekend, everybody. If there's no other questions.